Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the power of sound to alchemize body and soul with Kristin Hoffmann, classical trained singer, conscious musician, and producer vocalist for Bella Gaia. Welcome, Kristin. Where are you connecting from today?
I am coming to you from the Hudson Valley, New York, about 2 hours north of New York City. I live in the woods, so I'm looking out at a beautiful day and a forest, and just always so grateful to be in this space, and grateful to be with you all today.
Well, it's wonderful that you're out in the woods and can connect with nature while you're doing this program with us, bring in that frequency. And I'm Charissa Sims, live event host with Humanities Team, a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to make conscious living prevalent worldwide by 2040. And I'm coming to you live from Lafayette, Colorado, not quite the woods, but a small town, 35 minutes from Denver. So I also want to welcome Kristin Hoffmann's audience. Those streaming live through the Humanities Team Facebook page, Humanities Team YouTube channel, and Stream Plus members that are here in the green room with us. Welcome. Thanks for being members. I also wanted to do a special shout out to the Sign Network, John and Summer Raymer at Sign.network. And this program is for all of you watching. Because it's live, we will have time for your comments and questions. If you've heard Kristin play before, had any experiences, would love to share, we'd love to hear from you or ask her any questions. Try to get your question in within the first 30 to 40 minutes of the program. You can post it in the chat and hopefully you'll get your question answered. And I wanted to share a little bit more about Kristin Hoffmann. She is a classically trained singer, prolific songwriter, composer, seasoned producer, and sound healer. She is the vocalist for the internationally acclaimed show Bella Gaia and uses her music as a vehicle for peace and earth/ocean conservation. That's so incredible, especially with Earth Day being yesterday.
Yes, we're right in tune. We are definitely in alignment, and
Yes, beautiful. Kristin opens sonic emotional heart spaces in which powerful new awareness, connection, and healing can flourish. She works regularly with thought leaders and change makers to amplify important wisdom for our times. So happy to be with you today, Kristin.
oh, thank you, Carissa. So wonderful to be here. I always love anything humanities team or Stream Plus. This is really such an incredible place to share and experience new thoughts and wisdom and just wonder. Welcome to members. So great to be with you live and in person.
Yes, it's so amazing. And we're so grateful for you. We feel honored that you've decided to be a provider for us and have a course on Stream Plus that's so amazing and transformative. Well, there's something otherworldly about your music, a depth of discovery, a journey to a part of yourself that maybe has been dormant or maybe discovering another reality. Do you feel you channel music from other dimensions?
Mm. Well, absolutely. I would say I would say my greatest life practice has been to become a better vessel, a conduit for spirit. I would say spirit to come in the form of sound and frequency. So every time I'm sharing sound, frequency, voice, music, I am always first setting the space, tuning in, and asking, may I be a vessel for the highest encoding of sound and frequency to come through at this time, which can help us all to grow and evolve. Hopefully, that's always the goal. So yes, and as I've grown, I feel much more fluid with being able to tap into that connection instantaneously and really call it in. whether I'm doing programs online or whether I'm doing sound baths where everyone's lying down or whether I'm playing for an audience live. And so I would say yes. And the first place I always go is talking to my higher self and my guides. So I call in my highest self, my highest awareness, my team, my spirit team, my guides. And through all of us holding the portal open, that's where I feel the sound comes through. Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you feel like it's important for all of us, for people to connect with that higher source, that higher self, and our guides while we're doing things, doing creative projects, or just living our day?
Such a good question. I feel well, okay, I would say if that resonates with you, that languaging, if
Mm.
it resonates with you to call in your highest self, call in your spirit guides, if that's something that you're working with, by all means, yes, yes, I highly recommend. For me, ever since I have been in active daily dialogue with my guides, I notice a depth, a presence, and um, an activation in the sound that has gone to new levels within me. And that's my personal experience. Some people aren't in this conversation of working with guides and spirit and prefer to think about tuning into nature or elements or Gaia. And if you are a person who has a deepened connection and find your the moving of your soul through connecting with nature, and if that's your space to feel more creatively attuned, by all means, we don't have to go and say, oh, spirit guides, come in with me. We can go for a walk in nature. We can listen to the rain. We can do some sun gazing. We can just earth a little bit. And I find that that always, almost just as much, nature helps me to tune in right away as well.
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, I know we're all on our own path and we do have guides, but like for me personally, I'm not always connecting on that level or asking them or setting that intention. So I find it interesting, your process, and I think it can help others too. Like you said, if they feel called, if that resonates with them. Well, I'd love to hear more about your musical path and how you discovered the art of sound healing.
Well, my musical path is a long one because I started playing at age 3 and first started with a little violin and then moved to piano at age 4. So
Okay.
I've been playing music for a long time, and I went on a journey through the mainstream music industry for quite a number of years, which was amazing in many ways and full of incredible experiences that I would probably not have been able to have had I not ventured on that particular pathway. And during those kind of 10 years in the mainstream music industry, I also was getting more in touch with my internal connection to sound. And I would do this kind of soul singing to help myself rebalance at the time. And there was a lot of kind of feeling of spirit coming through in the music that I was writing. And yet I felt in the mainstream music industry like there was a cap on what I was allowed to express within that particular container. And so, interestingly enough, it was when I left the mainstream music industry and really felt like I freed myself that I began to fully feel the calling into deepened studies around sound and frequency. And I began to search out teachers and dive into my curiosity that had been bubbling up for so long, and I felt free to do so. And so studying and actually really practicing the art of sound and using sound for healing, it took some time to begin to come in for me. And yet the next whole chapter of my life has been so immersed in this beautiful space and conversation that we're having. So I would say I have blossomed so much on all levels as a being and as an artist, as my understanding of sound and working with people with frequency and intention has amplified. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, that's so beautiful. Well, it's so cute to imagine you as a 3-year-old playing a violin. You don't see that every day. I mean, did you have musical parents or did you have early influences? Because, I'm thinking about my kids. I never even thought to give them a violin. I have these little guitars and drums and all the kids, quote, kids instruments. So it feels
Mhm.
pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, I personally grew up in a family. My mother had played cello growing up, but she had not played in years.
Okay.
And so I wasn't exposed in my lifetime to her playing cello. And there was not actually much music played in my house at all. Every once
Interesting.
in a while, there would be a record played that was classical. I remember Vivaldi Four Seasons
Oh,
or every blue moon a Fleetwood Mac album or something like that. But there was actually very little music played in my environment.
interesting.
So I feel like I had very few musical influences at an early age. And it wasn't really until I was a teen that I started exploring and discovering, oh, I love this artist. Oh, I love this music. So I don't know where it came from. I One of my earliest memories is actually standing, I must have been about 2, something around that age. I remember the keys being kind of at somewhere at eye level or above my
Yeah.
eyes, and standing at the piano in our dining room and playing the notes, and there was sun coming in and there was light dancing on the keys, and I just remember in my little self having this experience. I would say it was one of my first spiritual experiences.
Yeah, that sounds divine.
So I think that started it. And I have another very early memory of an opera. Well, I think she was an opera singer. I don't know. She had a very full uh, melodic voice. This singer coming into my little Montessori class when I was about 3, and I remember standing up and hearing her resonance and feeling like, oh, I can do this. I love this. So,
Oh, that's
it can
amazing.
be just a couple of influences.
Yeah.
We don't have to necessarily grow up in a house where music is played all the time and have all this exposure. Really, a couple of experiences can catalyze this kind of an interest.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And it was like spirit nudging you or winking at you or shining the light on the piano. That's so beautiful. And then so with your time in the music industry, did you feel like, so you said you felt limited. What type of music were you playing? Were they encouraging you to play pop or popular music? And did you feel like it was holding you back?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in classical realms and singing opera and whatnot. So even my starting to create folk pop as a teen felt rebellious in the world
Oh,
that I was existing in. So um, by the time I got to be in my early 20s, or about 20 actually, I was fully going into the mainstream music industry. I signed with Capitol Records, and I was there for a couple of years, and then after that I was on Interscope Records. And as we know, I'm sure we know a lot of the artists on these labels. And yes, they were really wanting me to stay in a doing my own music. Everything that I was recording and playing was my own music, and I was passionate about it. And I noticed, for instance, I have this song called Falling, which you can hear on my album that I did with Interscope. It's on all of the online stores. So if you're looking for it, it's called Falling. And it has a different, almost like neoclassical spiritual element to it. And I would play this song at every show, and hands down, it was the song that people resonated with. They were having an experience like, oh my gosh, they would cry. And yet, when we would talk about putting out my record, they would not feel comfortable leading with this song that really was so unique to me, and wanted to go with something that was much more normalized mainstream. And so these kind of things, and that's just one example, but
Yeah.
you pick up these messages whether they are subtle or straightforward. And over time it feels like, oh gosh, there is definitely a limit to my expression, or when I embrace these more spiritual sonic expressions that are coming through, they're not going to be very welcome.
Yes, yes, that makes sense. Because I'm sure your family and your friends, I mean, to everyone else, it looked like you've made it. I mean, this is the peak. You have been signed to these records and are playing performances and everything. So I feel like it takes a lot of courage to leave that world. Did you find it took some courage?
Yeah, I mean, I had to go through, I would say when I first parted ways with Capitol Records and I was 20, I think I was 22 at the time. I I would say that was one of my first great heartbreaks. It wasn't in a love relationship, but it was the heartbreak of the young dreamer who thought, "Oh yes, my life is made and it's going to look like this." It was going through that deep cathartic process of, oh, okay, that particular vision might look different, and the whole letting go and healing.
Mm,
When
that's
I so
beautiful.
that
I mean, that's pretty young too.
Yeah, yeah. So, there's a lot of emotion tied around that whole experience at that time. I would say the second time I went through it, which was at age 27, I was more adult. I was more grounded in who I was by that point in time. I had been through a parting with a major label once. And so the second time around, yes, I was bummed because you look back and it's like so much of your life, like years to write the music, to make the albums, everything in the mainstream music industry takes a lot of time. You're like ready to go, 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 and everything takes a lot of time. And so I looked back at the Interscope experience, and while I was appreciative of all of the experiences, and there were some wonderful people that I was working with, and I learned a lot from the producers and the musicians and touring, it was an incredible experience. And yet, there is a heartbreak on some level when you part from that kind of an up-leveled vehicle to do things with a certain level of efficiency and a team. However, I would say within about a week or two, it was so fast. It was like my spirit, it was as if my soul was just waiting for that doorway. Within about 2 weeks of parting ways with Interscope, I got a call from the organization called Songs of Love. I do a lot of production work as well. So even at that point in time, I had a studio, I could do full productions. And they were looking for someone who could both write and produce songs for children. It's kind of like musical Make-A-Wish Foundation. And so children who are really going through health challenges,
Mhm.
serious health challenges, they wish for a song, and you get a whole profile. And so I would write pieces and record them in my studio for these kids. And I did about 170 pieces for
Oh,
children over the next few years. And I would say right away, that helped me to just move into a new zone. It really did. It's like when you're giving back to others and using music as a vehicle for healing, it was transformational. There was no going back once I stepped through that doorway.
yeah. And that's so inspiring because you had a choice and you made that decision. And then the universe just sent you this incredible opportunity to share your gifts.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, it's isn't it incredible how we're guided in life? I mean, the young me at age 18, 19, 20 really thought the roadmap looked a certain way. And 10 years later, I was in a whole different life experience, still using music, my passion, as my vehicle and my mission. And yet it became so clear like, I'm being guided into a whole different expression. And I can either fight against it or I can really listen and learn. And, that I think life has these moments where we get to glimpse the new choices on our path and then we get to choose.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Well, what do you call your personal style of singing,
Oh,
improvisational singing?
so I call my personal style of soul singing solome. And it's SOL, so light,
Oh,
soul,
okay.
weaving. There's a tilde in the middle, so like a little wave sign, weaving with Om, AUM, the vibration of the universe. So as I'm tuning into my style of soul singing, I'm literally feeling what is coming through as light dancing with vibration. And interestingly enough, I've received a lot of messages in water in my life. I'm sure a lot of you have. I think
Oh, well,
water is
maybe they have, but to be aware of it and to listen or to watch the message. Yeah.
yes. So water has been really one of the most incredible catalyzing spaces for my creativity. And I receive a lot of messages when I'm in water. And in my late 20s, soon after, I think I was about 27 at the time, I remember I was in a bath of water. I was in deep meditation. I had already been doing this kind of soul singing with myself, as I mentioned before, for rebalancing and healing, and certain family members. But I hadn't even thought yet to share it with others, with the world. And I was in this bath and I literally heard, "You are now ready to share this kind of singing that you do with others. You'll begin working with others and groups and the world. And it is called Soul Om." And it was shown to me and explained to me what it meant. And so ever since then, I have this has felt like not a title that I thought of, but it was something that is so much a part of me that is, and that I remembered.
That's incredible. And I love that. And it almost sounds like shalom, peace,
Mm-hmm.
shalom.
It
It
does.
rhymes with it. So that's so incredible. And just for our audience, remember if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat wherever you're watching, and you'll get your question answered by Kristin. And while we're waiting for these questions, I wanted to play a clip. This is from Kristin Hoffmann. She did a performance at the Global Oneness Summit in 2024, and this content is on Stream Plus. And this is called Soul Om, just like she said, Deep Theta Dream. So, can we play that first clip?
Let's dive in.
Yeah. That was so gentle. And it felt like this radical acceptance of all that I am and all that I ever was. Like it's gonna
Oh.
be okay.
Yes, and that's just I think that that is about a 25-minute experience. And as it gets going, there are I mean, that was just a little toning and a little chimes which go around your head, but there are many layers of vocals that unfold like flowers. And I highly recommend giving yourself the gift of lying down, maybe putting on some headphones and tuning in. It's a whole journey. I really love how that particular sound journey evolved. You see me holding the chimes over what looks like ears, and those are actually binaural microphones. So if you put on a headset, as I'm going around with the chimes, it feels like the chimes are traveling around you, and it's a really special experience.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so how can that help us heal if we have the binaural experience?
Hmm. Well, the binaural experience really mimics our it mimics our natural ear placement. So you can see there's actually two microphones, one on the right and one on the left, and they're positioned just like your natural ears. So as I'm recording, rather than having a sound experience which is just coming from one direction, you end up feeling like you are truly immersed in the sound, that it is right there for you, like you are in the room. And there is also something incredible about the way that it allows you to balance the brain and really receive the sound in its fullness.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, and we do have some science about that and sound healing on Stream Plus as well. So we have many sound healers. So it's beautiful to hear your opinion of it. And why do you call this performance a soul transmission?
Mm. Well, just as you're experiencing the journey of listening, I am also listening. It's a transmission, really, because of what we spoke of earlier. I am tapping in, I'm asking for the codes of frequency. I am being guided by my highest self, by my guides. The transmission of what is wanting to be birthed for you is coming through to the best of my ability to hold it. And I am in a state of deep listening and transmitting at the same time. So all of the parts that take place during that 25-minute journey, I feel are very consciously designed for your awakening. That was my intention. And I am transmitting that intention to you. And so far, I feel people have had really deep reception of this particular transmission. You know, in life, sometimes we feel very tuned as vessels to both listen or create or bring through our intended sound or creation. And other days, we're just not. we feel a little out of alignment. And that particular day, I remember like, wow, the transmission came through clearly. There is something that is going to support and help others to unlock something within themselves. And some of the emails and comments I've got back about this particular transmission, people were saying, I have never gone that deep in my meditative journey. I went to other realms. I had deep healing. So I think this particular one is very effective. I want to hear what you think.
Yes, yes. I'll have to give you that feedback when I have the full experience. Well, I was just curious, and thinking about healing and the songs that you do are so beautiful and healing. How does that compare to like an energy healer or other types of healing? How can sound healing be more powerful, or how does it compare in your mind?
Mm. Well, I feel, and I might be a little biased as a sound practitioner, but I think many of you would probably agree that sound has a mystical ability to affect us and shift us almost instantaneously. You'll go for a great massage or energy work and it's subtle and it can take time and sound can take us there right away. Even just going to a concert, even when people are not intending to have a sound healing experience, they can be shifted by sound right away. So when you combine the intention and the receptivity that you go into in a sound healing experience as a receiver, sound can work on our system in right away by easing us, putting us into a deep space. And then frequency, literally different frequencies are working on the subtle bodies, the etheric, the astral, the mental levels, shifting and helping us to resonate in greater alignment. It's almost like our hard drive of our spirit, of our bodies, our hard drives can be defragged quickly. And then on deeper levels, like intentionally using sound with tuning forks on the meridians, acupuncture meridians, we can literally go in and actually encourage organ systems, other systems of the body, the meridians, that may be out of balance and resonating not in their most optimal frequency. With sound, again, relatively quickly, we can encourage and send back in the healthy aligned vibrations into these meridians, into the organ systems. And you feel differences that are incredible. So whether you're working more in the subtle realms with sound or whether you're working with sound right on the body, I feel the impact is both subtle and direct.
Mm. Yeah, that's powerful. I would agree. And it seems like an analogy would be a tune-up for your car. Like we're getting a vibrational tune-up that's for our highest and best good, getting us back on track, getting us in alignment. So even if we don't think we have anything else to heal in our lives, if we ever get to that point, it's still beneficial in that way, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we are beings of frequency, and I feel deeply that sound and resonance and frequency are the medicines of the future. Even with nature and water. I was on an Earth Day program playing the other night, and there was a great scientist who had developed a technology. I think it was called Kiko Technologies, a guy named Jim Osugi. And he is using frequency to heal bodies of water, lakes, streams. And I think he even intends to do this in ocean areas. And It was mind blowing. He is healing very disturbed bodies of water filled with algae in 24 hours using frequency.
Oh my
So,
God, I've never heard of this before.
oh, it was
That's
so
incredible.
illuminating. So imagine when I saw this, it was like, aha, we are water beings.
Yes.
And imagine this interplay that's happening, how powerful it is, sound and water working together. I think we're just tapping the surface of our understanding around this great mystery of frequency. And I think that we're going to see frequency working on our bodies and on the bodies of Gaia, on nature for healing in profound ways in the next 10 to 20 years. I think we'll see things that we never even imagined were possible.
Yes, and they do research with plants too, and with the bodies of water. That's just powerful, and it feels like water is one of the most ancient forms, one of the most ancient elements on this planet. And so I feel now it's our duty, but how can we help, as people, and this person figured it out. So maybe we can all help in that way. It gives me a lot of hope. I'll say that.
Certainly. Certainly. I think, that we all are tuning in, talking about sound is like we're tuning into our unique missions and our unique parts that we're playing in this great unfolding. And so as we're speaking about frequency, it's like listening inwardly to your own frequency. What is the sound of my unique gift? What is the sound of my unique mission in the world? And we all have these incredible gifts to give. And so, yes, bless Jim Osugi for being on his mission. And may we all just continue to tune in and listen. Listening is so important.
Yes. And so, what do you mean? What is the sound meditation womb space? It feels like a sacred feminine, the womb, healing. What is that?
Oh, that's great. That's beautiful. I actually call my physical sound healing space here in the Hudson Valley the Solom Sound Womb. So
Oh,
that's perfect. That's perfect.
okay.
I feel that sound womb spaces are intentionally set spaces where resonance can really be shared and received. There is something about creating conscious containers for sound to come through that is, dare I say, as important as the sound that comes through. The way we create our womb spaces, whether you're preparing to, maybe you want to listen to that 25-minute Solom deep theta experience in your bathtub and you want to put candles. I haven't even tried that yet with
I'm going
that
to do
particular
that.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
But the
Planting a
way,
seed. Yes.
yeah, the way you set your space, your womb space, so
Mm.
that you can receive sound on deeper levels is so important. So I feel there's something profound about intentional space setting and listening. And that's your creative part in it. You get to feel into, oh, how do I create this space so that I feel safe, so that I can completely release, so that I can open? What do I need to do to open myself? How do I prepare both my vessel and my environment? That's the womb space.
Yes, I love that. I love that. That's amazing. And that you call your space that. And just for our audience, remember, if you have any questions, we're here for you. Put them in the chat wherever you're watching. And I feel like it's time to hear some more soul from last year's Global Oneness. Let's
Oh,
hear a
beautiful.
little bit more. Can we play that second clip? truly angelic in that space. Your voice is just an angel on earth for all of us to benefit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love your frequency.
Oh,
It's powerful.
thank you.
So,
So wonderful to be with you as well and just feel your great spirit.
oh, thank you for that. Well, we do have a comment. So Victor Chance says, "Hi, Kristen. I listened to your song Marva Maravati every day. I personally love it and I feel the frequency. And I've heard about the guy with the water." So do you want to talk about that song so we can be enlightened here?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm gonna get up a little note so I can read to you about the exact. I want to get the encoding exactly
Okay.
right. Here we go. So, just to tell the little story, this song has become one of the great blessings, I would say, of my life. You know, there as we bring through pieces throughout life, there are just a few that really stand out as the gems, both that came through, and when you see them going to good work in the world, where you see someone playing them every day, you realize, wow, this is really serving, and this is one of them. My beautiful friend and the great visionary Adele Lambourne called me, I think it was back in November. And she's been tapping into the other realm since she was a child. And she said, Kristen, ever since I was little, when I'm traveling through the realms, I've always known Mother Earth, her spirit, her divine origin spirit. So you can think of our own bodies. We have the physical body and then the various different expressions of our being, which go into spirit realms, into our divine origin realms. And she said, I have always known Mother Earth as Maravati, Maravati. And immediately I started getting chills. And the next thing she said was, I've been tuning in. I've been hearing that you're going to bring through a piece. And she sang me Maravati. Like she was feeling it. She said, I can hear like the angels singing, and this is going to come through. They want it to happen. Can you bring this piece through? It's going to be an encoding both for humanity to receive and sync and align with Mother Earth divine origin. And also, as humanity is tapping in and singing and playing this song into nature, it will assist her in her own awakening and rising at this time. So she really explained that it would have this dual purpose. And I said, yes, I feel it. And I waited until the end of December. There's always a point where things get really quiet in the conscious field. I feel between Christmas and New Year, there's just this time, which is almost like a womb space in consciousness. And I feel everything just get really spacious. And I went in my studio and this whole piece came through, and it was as if I was listening and working with pure spirit. I felt these other beings really singing with me, through me, guiding me. And I feel that the recording has really succeeded in bringing through these codes. And thousands of people have been tuning in and playing the song simultaneously. We had a sync just yesterday at 11 o'clock Pacific time, where thousands of people went out into nature and played this song to her elements. And just to tell you what
In
Madhavat,
honor of Earth Day yesterday.
yes, and
So
we've done it a few
beautiful.
times, so
Okay.
it's been really special. Madhavati, just to share Adi's translation, she
Yeah.
said, Madhavati is a cosmic sound, vibration, and language. It is ancient and eternal. Each syllable is a sacred tone that creates. Ma is the vibration of the element of water, the
Mm.
mother of life on this planet. Ra is the holy vibration of the solar light. Va is the powerful element of air, and T indicates divine feminine in creation, such as, we hear the word Shakti, and you feel that, the divine feminine. So that gives you a little, it's all in your favorite stores. It's on my Bandcamp page. Actually allows people to download it if they wish. And so as people have been taking it out into nature where they don't have necessarily phone reception, sometimes that's preferred. And now there's
Yeah.
videos and the whole thing. So please, if you feel inspired, go take a listen to Maravati, Song of the New Earth. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible and so timely. And it feels like with that song, it feels analogous to what this gym person is doing with the ocean. We can do this with the earth.
Absolutely. And I love that this song can, each person can make it their own.
Mm.
And I'm always a big believer in using our voices. Our voices are our first instrument. You don't have to have a perfect voice. We're living in a world where perfection, this idea of perfection is kind of expected these days in music world, and it's just a falsehood. Throughout the ages, humans have been singing, and it's how we pass on information and sync together. And getting in touch with your voice, whether you're singing with others or whether you just want to sing by yourself in the shower or go out into nature where no one can hear you, using your own voice, so singing along, I think both activates this divine mother earth within yourself, and it's a gift to nature. Whether you like your voice or not, your voice is a gift to mother earth. Will receive your voice with so much love. Just I highly recommend trying it. Activate your own voice, sing along.
Oh, that's amazing. I've never thought about singing to Mother Earth. And I sing sometimes I do fire ceremony
Mhm.
monthly and we drum and we sing. But my heart was never, directing it to Mother Earth. And it's so beautiful because I think about my ancestors and angels and spirits. So that's so amazing. And it does feel ancient, that Maravati. Like I've been to Kirtan and those are the ancient sounds and
Yes.
goddesses. So it feels like that. It could be a Kirtan song, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like it's also activating these vowel sounds are ancient, and I feel that they are simultaneously activating parts of our being and our consciousness.
Mm.
So I think powerful on all levels when we use these kind of ancient vowel sounds. They are codes, they are sonic codes. And when we tap in, we are syncing with humanity, intention, sacred, sonic sharing throughout the ages. I don't think it's just now. There's almost like it's holographic, I feel.
Oh, wow. That is a whole nother level. That's incredible. So we have another comment. Victor Chance says, I watched you with Patricia. Was that yesterday of the Earth Day? Or maybe it was a
Oh, with
recording.
Patricia Cotorobles. Yes, wonderful. So great to
Okay.
be with you.
Yeah,
Patricia
and she's also
Cotorobles.
a provider for Stream Plus. So yeah.
Yes, she's absolutely amazing. Talk about a conduit for consciousness and spirit and vision, and her voice. We were just talking about voices. I think she has one of the most powerful healing speaking voices. When
Mm.
I'm in Patricia's presence, I feel something just in grounding and listening to her voice that allows me to expand more. And I think others are feeling that as well. But we did a whole Madhavati um, Song of the New Earth transmission and sharing of the piece together just a few weeks ago.
Oh, incredible. So Eva Lee says, so beautiful. Ryan says, beautiful, like walking into a cathedral. Oh my gosh, yesterday I was interviewing Steve Farrell, the CEO of Humanities Team, and that's what he compared nature to, walking into a cathedral. So that's in alignment. And Lori says, setting up a bath to listen to this right now. Oh,
I love it. Yes,
Amazing. Look at
Lori.
the effect you're having on people. And I feel like we haven't even played that much. I want to play another clip.
Okay,
Now,
let's do it.
this is from, we have one of your courses called Rain Shine,
Mm.
Sonic Alchemy. And can we play clip 4, Jim?
Hold out, hold out your hand tonight. Bridge the darkness, light the light. All your fears are feathers now, falling into grace. Speak to me in silence, sacred, unwind us, and all my life, all my life is here and now. Unfolding, let it out, let it in, lose control, we're diving. Breathe it out, breathe it in, shedding force into the mystery. We're born.
Oh, that was so beautiful. And we got to see some visuals, and that's part of your producing. Is that correct?
Well, that is actually I would say it's visual healing elements that were
Visual
designed
healing, yes.
by my partner Troy Stallman and our friend David Bryan, who's a wonderful video editor, and they created a whole. So the album is called Rainshine, and it's really about that merger of water and light, and that sacred quivering that begins to happen when water and light meet and you feel the potential of your next growth. And this is what I call sonic alchemy for soul awakening, when we allow ourselves to get into that space of the sacred quiver and feel our transformation. So I wanted to not just have this be a journey of sound, but also a journey of visuals. And they're both, Troy and David are both such beautiful artists, and they work together so well. So they took the music, created a full 43-minute length visual journey, which they call transcendent dimensionalism. It's this whole art form that Troy has been working with, where he'll take images and they slowly begin to reveal almost realms that show up in between. So it's designed to really allow our imagination and our soul to expand and to get in that place where we're really seeing not just the clear images, but oh, what do we see in the transition? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's wonderful. And it felt like I was seeing jellyfish for a moment.
I think there was a jellyfish in there.
Okay.
And give yourself that gift of that journey too. I think it's very special. And we designed it originally to be the backdrop for when I shared Rainshine Sonic Alchemy for Soul Awakening live, and we wanted to share it online. And so far, Humanity's Stream is the first place where we have given permission to share. So it's the only place online where you can have the full sonic visual experience of Rainshine.
Wow. Well, we are so honored to be the only place where you're hosting that. Amazing. Thank you so much for that gift. Well, how might visions and messages for our life come to us through receptive sound journeys and spaces?
Mm. My experience, and I, after witnessing so many people receive sound consciously, my experience is that one of the great gifts is many messages or visions or memories, whether they've come from this life or others or the realms, can come through. And when this happens, when you get the gift of a message, it's just, oh, it's such a blessing. I've had the experience many times where it's so visceral when we're in that space of sound, almost between the worlds, and the messages come through. We hear them and we think, oh, I will remember this the rest of my life. And strangely enough, when we actually come out of that deep kind of theta space and we go back into our everyday doing life and action, it's actually very easy to begin to forget or lose our access to those messages in other spaces. So I highly recommend when you begin working with sound and creating your own sound womb and gifting yourself sound healing experiences, sound baths, whether with others in your own space, that you make a practice of giving yourself enough space at the end of these experiences, to digest. Give yourself the gift of easeful space to digest. And also have a journal or your phone. Write down, even if you only have time to write down little cue points of the messages that have come through, do it. Write down your messages. Bring a little journal with you. Keep a journal of the messages that come through from your sound experiences. It's almost like a new kind of dream journal. We can create a sound journal and a messages through sound journal. So just give yourself that part of it, because I think the ideas and messages that we hear are so important. That's part of why we've gone into the sonic receptive space. And so let yourself receive them. Let yourself assimilate them.
I
Make sure you're going to remember them in whatever way you need to.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad we ended on that. That's really inspiring and an action step that we can take. And I just want to read some last minute comments. Andy Gutsky says she's with Humanities Team. Beautiful and healing. Your voice reminds me of Tori Amos and your wide range of pitch and tone. Stunning. Annabella says beautiful. And Eva Lee from Humanities Team says, wow, thank you so much, Kristin. And thank you, Kristin, for joining me, and thank you to our audience for joining us for the power of sound to alchemize body and soul with Kristin Hoffmann. Her program, Rain Shine Sonic Alchemy for Soul Awakening, is available now on the Stream Plus platform. So join now and you'll gain access to this incredible program and also Soul Om from Global Oneness Summit. We are proud to say that Stream Plus is the largest global streaming platform for consciousness raising masterclasses and transformational education. I wanted to thank Steve Farrell, Dee Meyer, and the production team, Jim Gray, Garth Catterall, Andy Gutsky, Karen Weissert, Nanette Kennedy, Eva Lee, and the rest of Humanity's team. I hope you have a blessed day, Kristin, and
Oh,
everyone out there.
thank you so much. Thank you, Humanities team, for just the holding such an incredible conscious space of connection and sharing. And to all who are listening or listening in the future, sending you so much love and have fun on your sonic journey with yourself, with your soul, and open yourself to being surprised again and again. I know you will. So much love. Thank you, Carissa.